Howdy, Clint.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
Cindy.
Happy Tuesday. No, Tuesday. What day is it? It's Thursday, the other
Thursday.
Tuesday. Tuesday's second cousin. Cindy, it's good to see you on here. How are you?
Yeah, too. Just got back from Tennessee late last night.
You are the only 10 I see. What were you doing in
Oh,
Tennessee?
that's a good
Looking
one,
for a place
Jesse.
to live.
Okay, did you find something?
I'm
I
hurting
found
it.
a tiny house, yeah,
Okay.
on a
Is
mountain.
is it going to work? Are you going to move? You found a tiny house in a mountain?
Yeah, it's cool.
I'll rub it in.
I love it. I mean, it's so peaceful. I
You
love
got
it.
moose up there?
No, but they have bears. Hmm.
Oh, well, that's equally
Yeah,
quite the sight.
yeah. It's just peaceful. I love it. Yeah.
Are you a big gun gal?
Am I a big gun gal? No.
Yeah, like you into
I mean, I'll shoot them, but I don't have
Yeah.
any.
Cute.
Man, you need to get my grandpa when he found out that I was back in 2018 when I was still in the military. He found out that I was getting stationed in Alaska, and
Yeah.
he gifted me a 454 Casull. I don't know if you've ever heard of one of those,
No.
but it's this thing is huge. I mean, it'll blow a hole in an elephant's ass. I mean, this thing is huge. I've only shot it like once, but man, it's a good bear gun.
Oh my.
So if you ever feel like you need something, I don't know if you saw Clint and I'm going to introduce him here in a second. We were chatting last night, and um, he was commenting about the. I don't know if you guys saw it on 2 days before Halloween. It's midnight. My wife wakes me up, and she's like, "Jesse, somebody's here. Like, so I think somebody's trying to break into our house."
Oh.
And I'm like my adrenaline starts going. Like I go and grab my shotgun, and I'm like creeping to the door, and I've got kind of this window. I'm tall enough where I could just peer through it, this window at the top of the door. And I kind of just peer through it, and I see black movement right in front of my door, like literally inches in front of my door. And I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to break into my house. And I take another look, and I sit there for a second, and I'm holding my breath, and then I see ears.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. Whew. And then I got a window that sits next to my door. I pulled the shades up and I look out. I've got 3 moose eating my freaking pumpkins off my porch.
Love it.
Crazy.
It's
Crazy.
that 450 Casal, Jesse, that thing is a monster. It's a
Dude,
five
isn't
shot.
it?
Yeah, it's not a six shooter, it's a five shooter.
Yeah.
That thing is a beast. I shot one once. Man, you talk about muzzle flip. You better be hanging on tight when you pull the trigger on that thing.
It's
Yeah,
a
Dirty Harry ain't one hand in that thing, that's for sure.
It
it's a
makes my
pistol.
little Glock look like a pea shooter.
It does. Well, welcome, guys. I know we usually get a lot of people that come in a little bit late. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time today. As you guys probably saw, we are going to be doing some really awesome things. I want to share a couple things with you first and foremost. We got Christmas coming on next week. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. I tried to convince my partner. I said, "Hey, you know what? Let's because I continue. We Thursday fell on a Thursday, or Thanksgiving fell on a Thursday, obviously, and I went live on Thursday too. I was like, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Christmas is falling on a Thursday. And I told my team, I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going. And they're like, no, no, no. Let's give everybody a rest. So we probably won't do next week, but we've got some really cool things happening that I have never announced before. So I want you guys are the first people that are going to hear it. Um, is there anybody in here? Put a 1 in here if you are planning on going to Squad Up. Anybody planning on going to Squad Up next year in March? A couple of you guys. If you guys haven't been to Squad Up, it's like the biggest real estate meetup, I think, in the country. I mean, last year they had 3,000 people. I think this year they're shooting to have between 3,000 and 4,000 people. I mean, this thing is huge. It's going to be awesome. Myself and a couple other Owners Club members are putting on a 2-day event right before Squad Up, 2 days before Squad Up. So what we're going to be doing is it's going to be focused around how to maximize your time at Squad Up. Man, I don't even know what I want to tell you. Like, you guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Not only are you guys going to learn a lot of stuff, we're going to be focused on how to go make active income, teach you guys how to do it, take you guys through it, help you find what you want to do for active income. We're going to help you guys figure out what your team needs to look like, who you should be connecting with. Has anybody ever heard of a little game called Pokemon Go? Anybody ever heard of it? Rob's smiling from ear to ear. I bet Rob was playing it when he should have been at work.
You got to catch them all, man.
Bro, those of you guys who aren't familiar with it, it's this app, this game that probably came out maybe 10, 12 years ago. And you open up this app and you literally go collect Pokemon, but you have to go to like real places around town. And then when you pull up, it uses like not artificial intelligence, augmented reality. And like you could have Pokemon sitting in front of some random dude's driveway, like a 6-foot freaking Pikachu. And then you got to go take your phone and capture. Anyway, it's this really, really fun thing. And so we're kind of doing something similar. We're in the middle of developing an app right now. I've never told anybody this before. This is the first time anybody's hearing all this stuff. We're developing an app right now that's going to be using AI. It's going to work in a similar fashion so that when you guys go to Squad Up, so not only do you come to our event and you understand how you're going to make active income, you understand who you're going to need, you're going to be able to gamify it with a little Pokemon Go type stuff over the next 3 days at Squad Up. So it's going to be absolutely incredible. So you guys be on the lookout for that. We're going to be sharing more information over the coming Thursdays. I wanted to share something really quick. I want to try and do something nice every single week, just kind of utilizing these weekly Zooms. I've got a dear friend. A lot of you guys know her. I put a link in the chat. No obligation. She started her and her husband started a GoFundMe for their family. They said they don't want any presents this year. They don't want anything. If anybody had anything to give to their family, they're trying to buy a cow so they can put beef in their freezer and feed their family. So I went ahead and put the link in the chat. If anybody feels so inclined, please feel free to do that. Carlin is amazing and wonderful. A lot of you guys know her. Speaking of connectors, how many people are in here for connectors? You guys excited for connectors? I cannot tell you how much I've done in my business. Actually, you know, when I think of my business over the last 5.5 years, anytime that I've ever really hit any major milestone, I wouldn't say it's because of any particular action item that I was in the day-to-day and things that I'm doing and the calls and the looking at the deals and all that kind of stuff. If I had to be able to identify, hey, what were some of those things that caused me to get to a next level? To include when we started putting on events. Like, how many people in here want to put events on? I think everybody here should have your hand raised, by the way. Everybody here should have your hand raised. To putting on my first event, that all came from a relationship. And it took me to that next level. And I came to figure out that, hey, when I'm setting goals every single week, it's not only the things I want to do and the things I want to accomplish, but a big part of the things that, you know, I'll say a lot of our Ernies are in here. People in our school community are in here. A lot of the things that we go over is understanding what worked last year. What were those, if we did an end of year audit, what were those things that stood out? What were those aha moments? What learned? What was 1 or 2 things that got you further ahead than anything else? To include your relationships. And I had the wonderful and amazing privilege and opportunity to meet with somebody last night and spend almost 2 hours with him. And I was like, I stopped him. I interrupted him in the middle of him sharing all this stuff with me. And I'm like, you have to come on tomorrow. Please, I beg you. I stopped. I ran back to my closet. I put my begging pants on. I said, Clint, please, if you have an hour tomorrow, that would be so wonderful. What he's built and developed is honestly, truly amazing. I think for anybody wanting to build and focus on their relationships, understand how to network, understand how to and where to prioritize those relationships, how to keep everything organized, set up reminders. I mean, my goodness, I think that's the hardest part about being a connector is like, now you've got this list. If you guys went to Squad Up last year, you probably got 200 Blink cards. But now what? Now what do you do? This man is going to solve all of that stuff for you guys. So I think this is something that everybody should have in their pocket. It's absolutely incredible. I think he's on the brink of something. So without any further ado, Mr. Clint Carter, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today, dude. I'm so excited to dive a little bit deeper into this with everybody else. It's really been an honor.
Wow. Hey guys, I'm Clint, and I'm blown away that Jesse even spent 2 hours with me, first of all. And we start off right off the bat. We're both guitar players. We both started at around fifth grade and just hit it off really good. And I just feel really blessed to be in front of you. I'm looking over here at Texas Bill, and I'm kind of excited because Texas Bill has actually seen the demo I'm about to show you, except that since I've talked to him, we have really cool things that have come out, especially in the area of networking. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and I'm going to say this. Look, guys, this is not a Clint talk at you moment, even though there's a lot of guys in your room. If you got a question, you don't want to wait to the end. Put a hand up. And Jesse, if you can help me see that and just pause me, and we'll get those questions answered.
Absolutely.
So I have been in software development now for 30 years. And for the last 20 years, I've been leading teams of developers. And for the last, I would say 10 years, I have teams all over the world that take other people's ideas, and we turn them into $1 million revenue products. So fast forward to me owning assisted living with my wife for 7 years. We closed that down in December 2024. This is the 1 year mark. And I was looking for a way to keep her retired and acquire businesses. I joined Sub2, one of the best decisions of my life. And from there, I found my calling to go and build a $50 million RV park portfolio. And I started doing some LPs on a couple of parks and then wanted to own my own parks. And I realized right away that I needed to hold myself accountable with KPIs to a certain volume of leads. And I need to be able to focus on the signal, like the good leads. And being a software guy, I couldn't find anything out there. So I just started developing it for me to help me do my thing. And then I quickly realized, like, I am not the only person with this problem. And I started sharing it with a few people. And what I quickly found out was they wanted to use it. They wanted to be part of it. And I'm going to take you through and show you even how we got our name. It was really the very first demo I did with Deal Story. Now, what do? I'm going to take and share my screen. And as I share my screen, I have 3 monitors on my side of the fence over here, guys. And so I always share the crazy looking screen first if I can. Let's see, let's get the right screen. This screen here. Okay, do you see a crazy screen with the yellow mouse? Jesse, you guys see the—
No, sir, we don't see anything yet. We see your beautiful face.
Okay, let's try it again then. Try to share.
Which we're more than happy to watch that too, Clint.
You know, it's funny. I'll be in a Teams meeting with my team describing the screen for like 15 minutes, and they finally tell me, "Hey, Clint, there's nothing on the screen." So I'm obviously exceptional at doing it. So you guys, now you see a crazy screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with the yellow mouse. Okay, and now you see the Deal Story website. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, good, because I have 3 other crazy screens. So when you guys come to Deal Story and you're looking at the homepage, as I've told Jesse and others, we stopped updating this 2 months ago because the ideas are coming so fast, and we've been integrating so quickly with our team that it just became stupid to keep updating this thing. But so it gives you a general purpose. This is more deal focused, and Deal Story has become a complete ecosystem. And I'm going to take you and we're going to take a look at it. You're welcome to read this if you want. And when I mean ecosystem, you know, the thing that you learn about doing deals is that you can't do it by yourself. You can, but it's just not going to be as successful. You're not going to scale. We need partners. We need community. And so as you log into Deal Story, that's what you're going to start to see. You're going to see the beginning of the Deal Story ecosystem. And right now, what's live and what's working really, really well is our ability to network and build relationships and work on our deal flow as well. And then we have also something coming really soon called Deal Story Community, which is about finding your community like we have in Sub2. But more than that, it's also about doing service projects together. Like I want to be able to go out and actually work in the community, and not just to network, but really like most of the people in Sub2. And as Jesse said last night, I think we're kind of unique. We attract people that are go-givers. We attract people that really want to love on people and lead with value. So the idea here is that you can come here and you can vote. And the cool thing is that I've not advertised this at all. People are just finding it and they're coming in and voting for this. And, you know, this is really touching people. The fact that we can go out and network, I'm going to say network, I mean, really serving the community. But later on, after I came up with this idea, I thought, yeah, but who better to do deals with than somebody you're shoulder to shoulder with, right? Just helping people out. So, all right. So that's my heart. That's where we're going with Deal Story Community. When I say community, you could think of it almost like a Facebook group, but on steroids, where you can come and maybe you've got a Moms Connect group. We have a Moms Connect group that's in here. Or maybe like Jesse, you've got a weekly thing going. Someone wants to come and find out about Jesse and see what kind of trust they can have in him. And I'll take you guys and show you a little bit about that in a little while. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into relationships. And when we dive into relationships, it's called Deal Story Connections. And it's really its own application. And instead of starting here, I like to start here first. And I want to make a point, because when people see this right away, they go, okay, well, that's a digital Rolodex, Clint. What you're asking me to do is to take all my contacts and put them in here from my phone and from my Blink. And 100%, that is not what this is for. People that go into here are the people that you really care about fostering a relationship with. If you have 1,000 leads in here, you're probably not going to, when I say leads, I mean contacts. You're not going to keep up with 1,000 people really effectively, but you might have 100 or 200 people here. And the goal is to build this area up. And we're going to come back and look at how, what this does. But when you come into Deal Story, you'll be onboarded to come and set up, what role do you play in deals? Like maybe you're maybe you're a transaction coordinator, or you're a bird dog or a connector and a buyer. You come in, select these things, and then we'll help you generate your contacts. And so the goal is to be very intentional about our networking. Amen? Because if you just spend all your time meeting bird dogs, that's great. You've met some cool people, but you need to meet buyers. And if you're bird dogging, you need to meet buyers, but you should also meet connectors and capital raisers and other people too, because you just never know. But how many, right? And so the goal is to help you set that goal and then set a timeline. And on the timeline, we can it's saying, hey, look, you need 1 meaningful connection per day or 7 per week. Do I feel like I can do that? That might be too aggressive, and I can adjust it downwards. Or if you're like me and you're super competitive, you're like, heck yeah, I'm going to try at least. And from here, now we know what the skills are that we want to get into our network. Now, I've been using Deal Story for a while now, so I have people in my network, and I can kind of see the composition of my network and what I have. But I can also see where I need to keep working on building my network. I need more bird dogs, more syndicators, more operators, and I get recommendations on where I should build. And then we got this cool weekly challenge that came up with an idea. It's like, Clint, can we have a weekly challenge or something? Like, can we gamify it a little bit? And we thought, well, that's pretty cool to be able to come in here and say, well, I want to find these 4 people. I think I have 2 transaction coordinators. And when you go add them as a contact and you put their skills in, we'll mark these done. And so before we come back over to the homepage, oops, I already came to it. The homepage is going to be based off of those skills as well. Well, let's head back over to the directory real quick, because I want to talk to you about how we bring someone into this contact area, because this is more than just adding someone as a contact. Because what we've done is we've made our networking really reflect what you learn from Bob Berg and Pace. And the way I would frame that is Bob Berg taught us how to lead with value, and Pace Morby just showed us how to do it in real conversations, right? He is the man and at doing relationships. And so he taught us, find out what their Mount Everest is and figure out how you can bring value to them. And one thing I remember, I was watching a Zoom and someone was asking, how do you remember people's names so well? Because he's really good at that. And he said, well, simple. I just remember what their superpower is and say it back to them. And I remember them by the superpower. And so we actually, instead of skills, we used to call it superpowers. And with all the folks in Sub 2, that tracked. But you got to remember, this is so much bigger than Sub 2. And as I demoed to people outside of Sub 2, the superpower thing just didn't hit well. So we're using sort of superpower skills. Now, as I bring someone in, what you'll see is, this is the standard contact. This is no different than a CRM, right? You're going to get their contact information. We're going to get their social media, their blink card. Do they have a podcast, a LinkedIn? We're going to get all this stuff here. And this is where we start getting more Pace and Bob Bird-like. And it is, and sorry, my mouse is going crazy. How do we meet? And what is their Mount Everest, right? I mean, I know I'm speaking to the choir here. You guys all understand what the Mount Everest is. And this is our chance to figure out how we can lead with value. So if you go to Squad Up and you get 100 contacts, you don't have a chance to ask them about their Mount Everest now. But you need to figure out how to follow up with them and be effective at that. I'm going to show you that in just a second to make that more powerful.
Can I share something real quick while you're filling that in, Bob? Or sorry, Clint.
Go ahead.
So many million things going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, your Mount Everest, understanding where people want to be a year from now and not necessarily what they're currently working on is probably one of the best questions or best pieces of information that you can have for connecting with somebody. You really want to do something meaningful and understand not what you can do right now, but where you guys could potentially build and be strategic over the next 12 months. Understanding what this Mount Everest is probably one of the most important questions you could ask. So I love that Clint included this in this form.
Well, actually, from what you just said, you just helped us innovate, Jesse. That's going to go into here. So it's not just going to say, what's our one big goal? We're going to say, what does it look like a year from now? What are you trying to reach? So that's a question Jesse asked me towards the end of our meeting. Hey, what does this look like 12 to 18 months from now? Great thought, Jesse. How do we bring them value? What do we have in common? This is so important. And then this is the superpowers area. We all know it. If I can type in a visionary here and get that, or an integrator, or I could say I'm looking for an underwriter, and we're just adding the skills here. Maybe they're a laundromat buyer, an RV park buyer, getting their skills in. And then the last thing is the vibe section. And there's two parts of this. One is this is kind of playful. And I was demoing a very, very large moms group. They have 120 members in just 5 months. And these are moms that are supporting each other. And I love it because they don't have to dress up. Their kids are running around screaming like crazy. And all the moms are they understand, right? And so it's their tribe. And they say to me, Clint, can we say how we feel about our contact? And I was like, well, okay, well, what do we mean? And she said, well, I met somebody yesterday and I know she's going to be my future bestie. Or I have someone that's a hot lead. And so as we thought about it, we thought, well, yeah, let's do that. That would be fun. Now, really, what we're describing is a feeling. How do I feel about this guy? Maybe I didn't like him. I can type in, I don't like this person. And, this got a red flag, or like super cool or something like that. Or I can just pick them like they're my people and they're solid human. Like I've got trusted voice for Jesse. And from being in memory care for 7 years, what I can tell you is a person that has dementia and Alzheimer's, the last thing they lose is their emotive memory. And what that says to you, the point there is that emotional memory is the powerful one. So when you start associating a feeling to a person, that's setting that person in your memory a little bit better. It's becoming more intentional, and that memory is getting linked. So if you were around, during 911, you know exactly where you were. That's an emotive memory that's very strong, right? Some of us, not me, but maybe around during the Kennedy assassination, like you would know where you were. That's emotive memory. So it's a secondary, really good thing that we came up with. So let's say that you spent time and you met this person. You're going to immediately schedule a follow-up for this person, which I've done with Jesse. You can say, I'd like he's my people, trusted voice. The next thing you do is you come over here, and you have the notes. So if I'm going to talk to Jesse again, let's say it's been 30 days, I can see the quick things about him. If I don't remember, just to bring me up, right? And any of these people, if they have a blink card or social media, I'll be able to go down and click on those things. I think Erica may have one, I'm not sure, but all that'll show up in here as well. So this is what you saw, right? This is as far as we've gotten. The ability to come in here now. And if I want to have a meeting with Jesse, I'm going to come enter a touch point. And I'm going to say, what did we talk about to remind me? So the next time that we talk, I'll have memory of that. Or I'll come and I'll set a follow-up with Jesse. Now, one of the things, this is no different than a CRM. right? Other than the fact that we don't do back end email marketing. What sets Deal Story Connections apart from really anything on the market right now? And by the way, it's not a sales pitch, guys. This is just telling you what we think, right? And so when you come to the home page, and this is just fortuitous that happened to show up because this is random. The idea here is, I've already completed mission 1, by the way, for the day. So the idea here is that when you come here and do these things, they're going to close these rings, a lot like an Apple Watch. And the idea is not to be gamification. The idea behind these cards is to help you stay focused on what's a priority to help foster cultivating your network. So we always start off with the easy ones first. We want to give you a dopamine hit, help you feel good about it, and then keep you involved in growing your network. Like, did you help someone or build someone up today? That's as simple as I went to Facebook Sub2 group and I went out there and I helped someone or got on a message with them. And if you don't like that, you can hit say swap and we can find something else like sent encouragement, made an introduction, and then we're just going to mark it done. And when we mark it done, we get a little celebration. We'll see our ring closed, except that we have a bug that I found out last night with Jesse. So on mission 1, if you can just imagine this, these things were closing and you were feeling awesome. You're like, Clint, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I can reset this and go through this. I'll maybe just do that real quick, reset daily task. Here, we'll do mark this done. You can see a ring complete. And then I met someone new today before the meeting, actually. And it was actually a cool meeting with Jose, and that's complete. Now, the next 2 take a little bit longer. These are actual people. Touch base with Jesse. Now, I just talked to him and I set up a note. I want to keep my relationship warm with him. So here I went and talked to him and we talked about a lot, and I'll just write it down here. You know, obviously you can tell what I'm saying, and hit save touch point. And we've closed that ring and we have 1 more left. And there's a little bug right here where Jose's coming in, but we just need this 1 left. And had a nice touch point with this guy. Complete. We've closed all of our rings and we get a big celebration. Now, again, depending on who you are, some people don't care about celebrations. In fact, I had a guy yesterday who just told me point blank, Clint, this just pisses me off. Like, I can't stand gamification. It looks to me like you're trying to keep me in the software. And I love that. Like, if you guys are in this meeting right now and you hate this, I want to know about it. Because to me, that's innovation. That's a chance for us to innovate and get better. And as I said, that's not the goal. The goal is to help you stay focused, right? And to help you think about what you want to do. Because when you start thinking about networking, you got to lead with value. And so it gets so easy to just go out and start messaging people and not think about giving back and doing the important things. If you want, you can keep building momentum and keep using this page, or you can just say that's enough for the day. And then now we're going to go to follow-ups. So we're continuing. Let's say you went to the big meetup with Sub2. You got people's blink cards. You come enter them here and you put some follow-ups. I don't have any due today. I don't have any overdue, but I do have an upcoming one on the 22nd with Judah. Once I go talk to him, I'll mark this complete, get it off my schedule. Next steps are, again, if I had 1,000 people in here, this would be hard to do, but these are people that are old leads. I keep saying leads, guys, I mean contacts. And this is to remind me, hey, you haven't spoken in 65 days. Let's go see what's going on, see if we can add value and keep fostering that and be front of mind. And if we do that, we'll just log a touch point, or we can snooze it and say, let's just wait for 30 days. We'll come back again. Or let's just snooze it indefinitely because I didn't like this guy. That's not true. I like Dylan. Dylan's pretty cool. So with that said, now we've got this way that when you're working on your network, to know that you're focusing on the signal. The signal is making sure you have the right people in your network that fit your skill set, that you can help, or that they supplement your skill set where you need help. And with that, before we go anywhere else, I want to open this up to questions real quick, if that's okay, Jesse. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it. Guys, question.
I think Larry needs this probably more than anybody else. Honestly, like I think Larry knows more people than Pace Morby knows. Like Larry literally knows everybody.
I think Pace has got me. He's got that photographic memory. So good afternoon. Can you guys see me or hear me?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's kind of ironic. Gordon this morning asked me after I talked to Pace in the jam session this morning. He wants me to reach out to every owners club member and get their buy boxes, and because we're closing a lot of pad split deals. And I know not every owner is going to be buying in where we're in Phoenix and Texas and a couple other places we're doing. But can you load this up with a CSV file?
I get that.
Because I have 24 or like 2,600, I think, Blink cards, and I can download them into a CSV file. But I also want to upload the owners club list as well. Can you create separate lists, like for Blink cards and another list?
I would say not yet.
Not yet.
Right now, it's definitely a manual thing. So people that have lots of contacts, I would say that's a friction point for them because they're like, well, I've already got them. I would say it like this: that for me, entering their contact information literally takes about 10 seconds, right? Maybe 15 at the most. The time.
So it's all manual.
Right now, yeah. Eventually, we'll let people come in through a CSV, like from Excel or from an export from your CRM, but not right now. So this particular application right here, this part of it is pretty hot off the press over the last 2 months for this part of it. We added this relationship builder just recently. Yeah.
So I'd have to put in not just their phone number, their name, but all the other stuff too. Right.
If it's important to you, if you don't have that already entered somewhere and you want to have it, I don't mean to put you down. I don't mean to sound like that. I just mean if you want to use.
Well, I mean, like the Blink cards, they got, their multiple emails, their social media, and
you can associate their Blink in Deal Story, but right now Blink doesn't provide an API for us to suck that information in.
Got it.
Trying to contact the Blink people and see if we can get there because a lot of us use Blink like crazy.
I do. What was it in Orlando at the first squad up, or was that the first one? Yeah. I got 365 Blink cards there, and I took a total of, I think, almost 497 pictures with individuals, people that already had their Blink cards, but I got 365 new ones when I was there at that. I took a ton of pictures and videos and met with so many people. So it's going to be a little challenging for me to enter in 2,600 people individually.
No doubt. I would say that, I'm not trying to win the hearts of every person. When I say the hearts, I mean, I know they're going to people, the 10%, they're 10% that are master networkers that have an eidetic memory, which means photographic memory. They tend to not need this, or they have everything already in their CRM and they're cool with it.
I remember their faces. I just don't remember their names all the time.
But I also with a lot of people who have CRMs who are in Deal Story now as beta. And the thing that I hear from them is, Clint, at first I was very against having to enter these things in, but it forced me to rethink about that relationship and reconnect.
Maybe I could get an AI bot to do it for me.
Yeah, that's actually maybe something you could do. I haven't thought about that. Good thought, Larry.
Yeah. Is there a cost for this?
It is $1 billion for you. Yeah.
Man.
You're paying for everybody.
I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday, like Wimpy.
Can I say something I caught?
Yeah.
When you had said that it helps you look better at the connection and why you're putting them in there. And then Larry said, oh, maybe I can get an AI bot. I think he missed that. If you have to go in and put the connection in yourself and really look at it, then you can better determine, am I still needing to connect with this person and why? Why do I want to connect with them and put them in here?
Yeah,
Good point.
I see both
Well,
sides.
I was in Target at the time doing checkout, so I missed part of it. You're
Well,
correct.
I would say I see both sides of the fence. Like I would use the AI to go in and just fill in the contact info, fill in any social media thing, anything it could do. But I'm not going to trust AI to go in and talk about how I feel about them. So I get that too. I get both sides of it. All right. Is it the last thing I will say about this is eventually, probably in January, when you enter Deal Story, it will become, you have your own profile. You'll be able to put in your skills as well. And then instead of manually entering people in, which you could still do, you'll be able to find those skills on Deal Story and add them as friends in your thing.
Is there a app for this, or is it just up on a computer for right now?
Dealstory.com.
It's an app like app on your iPhone.
It is no, it is a website. Now you can
Oh,
you can
gotcha.
run the browser
Okay.
on your website if you want to.
Well, dang, I was going to voice text everything in.
You asked about cost. So far, everything I've shown you is 100% free.
Awesome.
And just about everything I will show you up until we get to underwriting is about free. And I'll have a hard stop around 2:30. So for here, let's move on towards great questions, guys. I love it.
Thank you for your thing. Merry Christmas, everybody.
You too. Okay, so can you guys see my Deal Story screen again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Clint. Okay, so coming back in here, maybe you caught it, maybe you didn't. This image changes every time you log into something, kind of uplifting and motivational. We're going to go into the working the leads area. I'm going to show you my buy box technology, our buy box technology, a little bit about deals. We're going to talk about KPIs and holding ourselves accountable. And then we're going to go into underwriting. Okay. So as we go into leads, the thing that you see right away is, and let me get all my leads, is this is just simply entering your leads in. And when they come into the system, I needed one thing right away. I wanted to focus on signal and not on noise. And what that looks like is when they come in, they're in review. And signal are deals that look like they pencil. And so I want to work on those. The deals that don't pencil are either unqualified or not a fit. And I want to say there's a caveat to not a fit. And the example of that is there is a beautiful park 20 minutes from my house. It's killing me that it's not working out. But they only have $150,000 of NOI, and they're trying to sell it for $4.5 million, which is like a 3 cap, right? It's just not going to happen. So I just put not a fit on it, and then I scheduled a follow-up, and for 3 months from now, and because I figured it's going to take a long time for them. And what will happen is on a Sunday, we'll email you your follow-ups. This is what's coming up this week and the day before. And interesting enough, about 30 days later, they came back to me. I didn't even have to talk to them. They knocked $1 million off. They're still not there. And I was able to use, a thing learned by Pace where I said, it looks like I'm just not going to be your buyer. So can I just give you some advice and about creative structures? And lo and behold, 30 days later, they came back with creative terms. But the point about not a fit, guys, is that doesn't mean it's just not ever going to work, right? But we want a better way to follow it up. I don't know about you, but what I found without Deal Story was that crap is set in my email inbox. And I told the broker I'm going to follow up with them in a couple of weeks. And then stuff happened in my life and it's a month later. Right. And so now I have follow-ups where I can say I'm going to follow up with some banks on December 30th. Or maybe it's overdue and I'm going to get something, let me know. I've got some overdue things. Now, the icons that you see on the left right now are just for RV parks. And this tells us that this is a destination. This has a waterfront and it's got upside and it's off market. So it's just a quick visual of this particular park. If I go down, this is one that I'm bird dogging. I'm just going to try to look for an assignment fee, not buy this park. It's also creative. And I've got one down here that's just a long-term park. And so, we know as we're looking for businesses, if you're looking for businesses, you're going to come across leads that are just not going to work for your buy box, but you might as well not leave money on the table, right? And so if someone comes to you and says, Cindy Timmerman, do you have anything that's in a destination location? that's creative and has water features, and it filters this to what you filtered right here, and you go, well, yes, I do. And then you can share this with them. So how do you share it with them? So what we're going to do next, guys, is we're going to zoom inside the lead where we do our editing. And inside here, really quick, I'm going to blow past some of these. I'm going to show you how we can do a quick pencil the deal. And it doesn't matter what's an RV park deal or any other asset class. And then we're going to talk about our buy box technology, which I think you're just going to love. And in this particular one, actually, I'm going to go back to a park that I own with Pace here. And as I told Jesse, I don't think Pace, and he has any idea that I own it with him. But I got it through fractional. So here's the deal right here. So Big Springs. And so when I enter a lead in, this is where I say what asset class. So maybe it's a car wash, or it's co-living, or it's a mobile home. Met a guy doing boutique hotels recently. And if it's RV park, how many units we have, what's the occupancy, and where does this thing live? What's the acreages? And hey, here's the icons that you saw. This is where you just click these on now. All right, we're going to quick pencil this deal. And if I'm looking on this, maybe I found it on Crexy, right? And on Crexy, I have an asking price and I've got an NOI. And with that, I can do a quick pencil of this deal, and I can kind of do what ifs. What if it's a 7%, just a bank 7%, and we put 10% down? That's what my cash flow is. What if I put 5% down? You know, this is what my cash flow looks like. If my DCR gets below, I'm gonna warn you to let you know how your DCR is kind of low. But here's the thing. If you're a buyer and you have bird dogs working for you, what you'll find is that they, in the beginning, really don't understand what these things mean. Like, what is an NOI? What's a DCR? And throughout Deal Story, you'll see tooltips all over. But if you see a button like this, we give you an explanation of what this really is to help you throughout this. I got some kind of weird flashy going on here. We'll get it fixed. It scrolls down and helps you learn it. Like what is a DCR? I didn't know when I first started Sub 2. I had no idea what a DCR was. Okay, that's the quick pencil. This expense ratio is either I found it out somehow from the P&Ls and entered it in, or I knew what the revenue was and we can compute it. All right, so buy box technology. If you're in the RV park space, I'm about to blow your mind, okay? So I just come here and I just click on city water, shared septic, and I can come here and say it's got full hookups and back end sites and restrooms. And it's easy as just clicking on it and adding it, right? So if I'm doing my due diligence first, I'm going to find out everything about this park I can and click these things on. Why does that matter? In Deal Story, you can create a buy box. It's the RV park or co-living, whatever it is. And you can put it on the Deal Story network. And that means that everybody who's building their leads up in their system can then search that lead against your buy box. And not only that, you can have multiple buy boxes even for the same asset class. So for instance, I have one for long-term RV parks. They need to be close to a big city and have good economics. And I have another one that's a destination park buy box, which needs to be in a very cool place where people love to go and hang out. So I've come and set those, and I'm going to click the buy box, and we're going to go shop our lead on the network, both on the buyer sources that I created locally. So I just created some buy boxes for buyers that I know. I went and found what their buy box is and modeled it, and then people on the network. And so what you see right away is Deal Story went out and we used our technology to figure out who we actually matched this lead to. So pretty famous people, if you know Richard Branson and Pace Morgan, right? But what you'll notice is Lizanne, though, is at 78%. That's higher, and she still didn't match. Now, when you match, we give you a cool analysis. And the analysis is a narrative to tell the bird dogger why they should bring it, and the buyer a few things about it, like the fact that it's a little over 3 million. And then we give you analysis. And this is telling you, and we actually have 4 areas. This one just has 3 set up. We also have acceptable, like it's acceptable to be a trashed out house or something. And you'll also notice that even says must have, we matched even though it's 90%. And that's because he was looking for 3 million, but this deal is more than 3 million. And I don't want my bird dog to say, oh, it's over 3 million. I'm not going to give it to them. I want them to bring me a deal that I can negotiate, because I'm pretty good at negotiating and I think I can get them down, right? Even if you're not good at negotiation, you're probably still going to get them down, right? So it shows me what I matched and what I didn't match. The next thing is, let's look at Lizanne, because she's so close, right? It tells us, hey, I surfaced all the must-haves, but I only have 42% of what I needed. And so we tell her, hey, you need to go check on your investment criteria in the edit lead area. So, but if we look at this, we can say, oh yeah, they had a dog park and they had parks nearby and they had multiple revenue streams. They were like selling firewood and ice and golf carts. And soon you'll be able to click on these things and just add them up here. But right now you have to go on the lead to do it. And there's two more things that I want to tell you about this area. One is, if we match this global, we could select this and I could send it to that buyer. That would show up in her bell right here in an email, or his, and they would be able to see the same thing that you're seeing and see if this is a lead that they would be interested in, and negotiate an assignment fee with you through Deal Story. You can actually negotiate it back and forth through Deal Story, or get on the phone and call them and talk to them about it as well. Once that deal is complete, you'll have a chance to actually review each other. And because you were both in Deal Story, we can call this a Deal Story verified review. The goal of Deal Story is not just to be a place where you can do your deals, but to become a trust platform. And what I mean by that, people can come and they can give you reviews. And if they're part of the deal and we can verify that, then we'll give it the Deal Story verified stamp. If someone wants to come in here and they want to give you a crappy review, we're not going to allow it until that gets verified. And they're going to have to pay for that privilege. Now, if it turns out they're right, we'll probably refund them. But if they're wrong, we'll keep that money and we're not going to let that go there, because we don't want people to tarnish your reputation. I don't know if you know this, but there's some sociopaths out here who will just go do this kind of crap, right? So, all right. So I've taken you through the trust. We've seen the buy boxes, and we're about to go into a very cool area. We've got 2 places left. And I've got a funny story real quick. I was doing a demo very early on with a visionary and an integrator in the same room. And I'm going to bring this down here so I kind of see a little bit. And the visionary is, we start scrolling through all this stuff. His head just goes, oh my gosh, and he's out, right? But the integrator just leaned in and she is really watching intently. And I just keep going. And at the very end, we didn't have this button here, by the way. And at the very end, I'm like, okay, dude, you are completely out. That for me is, I want to ask you why. And he's like, man, I am not going to scroll through all this crap to check out this lead. Can you just give me like a quick summary of the deal? This is a pain in the ass for me. And so we came up with lead facts, kind of like Carfax. And the lead facts is your ability to just quickly send him and show them kind of like the Crexy description of the deal, and be able to go through and see the different images. Maybe these are site visit images, or maybe they're from the website. Have a little bit like, what's the 10 cap occupancy, and then have the summary, the deal summary here, and who the lead source is. And these, we haven't talked about the due diligence report yet, but I'll take you back in there in a second. And you can actually share this. And so you can come here and you can make it be password protected. You can make it expire. And when they click on that link, it will come into their page. And you guys don't need to know about the carnivore diet. We'll just, we'll take that off. It'll look like this to them. So they're not going to get into your account, but they'll see exactly what you're seeing. So no more of trying to make it look like an AI type of thing. You get something that's kind of, fun to look at, or professional is a good way to put it as well. All right. So coming back to here, we also have an AI analysis. The goal of this is to go off and do some analysis and help you do a little bit of due diligence. Now, the thing that you'll learn if you become a buyer and you start doing assignment fees is not hard to get a lead from someone. What's really hard is to get a lead that meets the vision of your buy box. And I just showed you part of that, and that took some due diligence. But Due diligence also includes maybe going out and writing notes about the things that you found. Maybe you've talked to the broker and have some just what we call black swans that the broker didn't mean to share, and that'll be helpful for negotiations. Like, what's the competition look like? So as a bird dog, let's not just hand them a lead from Crexy, because they can do that all day long. Let's be different. Let's go out and do some due diligence for them so they don't have to do that homework. And that's what this area is about. So I've shown you now the ability to take your leads, find and sift the signal from the noise. And I don't remember, I don't think we hit KPIs yet. Did we, Jesse? I can't remember. We'll go do that real quick. KPIs. The KPI is to keep ourselves accountable. I've been working deal stories, so I've been not doing my leads as well, but basically this is letting me know I'm only going to get 2 at the current rate. I need to kick it in gear. I've got 4 days left, but I need 21 a week, 84 a month, and 300 a year. That's for somebody that may be doing it part-time, and kind of shows me how my lead quality is right here. Here's a follow-up I need to do soon. And these are the ones that are past due, which I can click here and see that I've not been working my leads because of deal story. All right, so I'm going to pause here for just a second. And what I'm going to take you in, I'm going to show you underwriting. Now, for you guys that don't know underwriting, this might put you to sleep. But for you guys that do underwriting, you're going to want to pay attention. This is game-changing, easy, and powerful. The way that it works in Deal Story is we have a modeling area to model everything. And that means we're going to model the revenue and expenses. We're going to model the loan stack, the CapEx. We're even going to model the reserves. And you'll be able to take all that, and it flows down into our pro forma. And this is a deal that's looks like it's a waterfall deal. So we've got partners and LPs in the deal. And in the pro forma, you come here and see the details about the revenue. You can see the details about the expenses if you want to, and how we've underwritten them. You can see our debt service, et cetera, and our CapEx. You can see we've got a dog park coming in, site prep, cash flow. And if you're doing a waterfall, you can see your GP fees and how they're getting paid. You can see your preferred returns happening until we get return of capital, our LP distributions. We see the waterfall split, and we have maybe the most intuitive waterfall underwriting platform, I'm being told, in the industry. So I'm really excited about that. So, and that's our goal, is to be intuitive. So we're going to walk through these real quick, and then we're going to come back and we're going to all do a what if. And we're going to go to an RV park in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, that I almost bought this summer, but didn't. So with revenue stream modeling, it's just simple as adding these. For RV parks, we have short-term and long-term stays, and it's very seasonal. So we have peak rates and shoulder rates and off-season rates. And we can then, like, I bought this park and their occupancy is pretty low. They had no marketing almost whatsoever. They had a road sign on the highway that I couldn't even see, and I missed it. So some pretty easy wins to start bringing occupancy up. And here we just want to go and stabilize it and say, well, by year 3, I want it to be 90, 85, and 40. And based on this market, that seemed conservative because all these other parks were full. This park was not. So that's modeling revenue. Also other revenue, where you can come and model COGS and, cost of goods sold, and set your profit margin. You can also recapture electricity and other utilities. You can come and set your expenses. You can do explicitly each of the expenses. You can set growth up individually, or you can do a global growth setting. You can come to season configuration and figure out, if I'm in Alaska, my off season is probably much larger than 181 days. I don't know. But this is important because in Pagosa Springs, they're the only RV park that's open in the winter. All the others closed down, but they only had 5 RVs parked there, and they didn't have any tiny homes. So it looked like an easy win to bring in some cabins or tiny homes and basically double their revenue with all the skiers that come in. And because we're adding some new revenue streams, one of them required some site prep and gravel and reserves. Look, I'll just say, guys, you don't see this yet, okay, when I'm showing you right now, because this is not out in production yet, but, well, not finished in production unless you're an admin. But if you're modeling a park, you really need to be modeling your reserves. We have operating reserves and we also have CapEx reserves. And what this is saying is if you had no revenue, could you survive? And how long could you survive? And we typically want to fund operating revenue in the close, but maybe we didn't get it all in the close. And so we can add more operating revenue if we want to. Same thing with our CapEx reserves. Maybe you want to add CapEx for just the what if rainy day. And if we're getting other people to come in on a deal, it'll be important to show them that not only are you protecting their downside with operational reserves, you're also adding value and bringing upside with your CapEx reserves potentially. Loan modeling, and we're getting close, guys. Loan modeling, it's as easy as this. We're going to go get rid of a loan. Delete this loan. So I'll come here and I need to fund a $100,000 gap. This one's an acquisition loan. We need a down payment loan. So we're going to come here and get a seller finance because we've negotiated really, really well. And we need $100,000, not $1 million. And we also got them to do 0% interest, amortization of 25 years. Okay. And then we'll say they deferred payments for 3 years. That's actually a deal that someone was doing recently. And after 3 years, they're only going to do 3% interest. We are fully funded. We know what our uses and sources are. And if you don't understand what that terminology means, we have help for you to help understand what those things mean. We have help to help you understand what a lien position means and how it works. And so because I've done this demo a lot of times, I realized that I need to come pay off this loan we just had in my refi scenario. And in year 6, we're going to refi this property. We're just going to be conservative and refi it at a 10 cap, but we have stabilized revenue. Maybe we'll be able to get it at an A cap and at 75 LTV. And let's just pay this thing off. Here we go. All right. Before, we also have our partnership modeling. This is actually a tiered promote, which is interesting. A tiered promote says the GP should earn their money. They shouldn't earn money just because time passed, right? And so we have the ability to have tiered promotes in here for the GP in the waterfall setting. So it says the GP will earn 10 if the IRR is this and 20 if it's that and so forth. But you could also have a straight waterfall as well, where the GP does earn a certain percentage as well as your GP fees. And when you model all this, we actually show you, here's your GP fee stack, by the way. You can see that we're exiting year 7, and you can also see the breakdown. You can see that we have return of capital to our LPs in year 4. And we can see this waterfall flipping in this particular case, where the GPs are now making a lot more money. They're getting 80% instead of 20 or 10. All right. So we're talking about, all you guys are partners with me right now on the Pagosa Springs deal. You love it. We talked about it, and I mean, I'm telling you, this thing was beautiful. It hurt me not to get it. But you say, Clint, what if we add 5 tiny homes? What would that do? And so let's just go here and add that. Because it's an RV park and it's asset class aware, we already know what kind of accommodations it can have. So we add the tiny home. We say they're going to be short-term stays. We're going to add 5 of these things. Let's do it in year 2. And we'll say we're going to get 250 because tiny homes really get a lot of money. 45% in year 1, or the year we bring it in. And then let's say it's 220 in the shoulder season, and it's maybe 40% occupied, and 180, and it's maybe 25% occupied. And then let's set up stabilization. So this is year 1. We do our marketing and people are coming, and we say, okay, let's stabilize this by year 4. And we can either keep these numbers or we can bring them down. And the revenue that you see right here is based purely on the existing year that it came in. Now, all of those numbers, everything that you've seen right now, that all flows down to the pro forma, and you'll see that our revenue is starting to grow as well. You can also see inside here what our cash flow looks like, what our cash on cash looks like, what our DCR looks like. And it's all looking pretty good. You can also then look at your year one performance. You can look at your hold scenarios to do your exit planning, and you can play around with this. And if I bought this, let's say I'm exiting year 7. If I bought this at a 10 cap and I come and stabilize the asset, then you have what's called stabilized NOI, which means you can probably sell it at what's called a compressed cap rate. So if I bought it at a 10 cap and I sell it at a 9 cap, it's going to be worth more. So example, it's 6.8 million now, and I take it to a 9 cap. Now it's worth 7, right? And we can see the close. And this helps you talk to the people that are interested in becoming your partners, or just do the what ifs for yourself. Because guys, if you're not planning your exit before you go to close, you're shooting yourself in the foot. That was me in my first business. And it was a big, big lesson for me. So 3 more things, and we're done here, okay? One, all of that modeling that we just did, I would consider maybe I do my conservative scenario. If I want to add scenario, I'll just come up here and say new and give it its name, whatever I want to say about it, give it a color. And then I can just simply copy all the work I did from my base scenario. And then like maybe I call it my stress scenario, and all this gets transferred over. And now you can come like take off all your stabilization, maybe reduce your rates down, your occupancy, and really stress this deal out. That way, can you survive if this still doesn't work out as well as you thought, right? Because you've always got to model that. So this literally takes just a couple of seconds. The status is just to let you know, if you get through this and you've done all your stuff, we mark it approved, because if I'm going to show an investor and they see draft, they're not going to like that. But approved is also to help you in case it took a long time for this deal to happen. When you come back to it, you want to know that it was done. 2 more things. One is we've now closed the loop. We now actually have a deal story for investors for this. Once you do the underwriting, that talks about the scenario, the investment thesis, the revenue plans, the business plan, capital structure, and investor returns, and so forth. Key considerations. Sorry. We also have a glossary to help people that don't know what a lot of these terms mean, to help those people out. And you can currently share this. Again, you can do it with password protection, or you can just make it public and give it to people. Just like the lead facts, they won't get into your deal story. They'll just see this. Eventually, we're bringing out a pitch deck that will show this. It'll also show partially this as well, to help with you people that are doing syndications and fractionals. And I would say the last thing, I like to tell the story of how we got our name, Deal Story. And that is, with my partners, we would get in Zooms and I would show them the underwriting. And I always do my revenue on one tab, modeling on one tab, and I've got my CapEx on another, and I've got loans on another tab, and they're having to switch back and forth, and it was just a pain. And so as we developed this, I decided to put an analysis button here. Well, why is this revenue going up? And just so I can tell my partners with the narrative, why is this happening? But for me, being a numbers guy as well as a visionary guy, I wanted to see the numbers. And this gives you a quick snapshot of why things are going up or why things are going down. And if I look at my revenue streams, I can also see the stabilization. So this is the tiny home that I put, and we're at 50% of target. Or if I've got a CapEx project, it'll show here as well. And the funny thing is, that same demo with the visionary, we used to not show this. We only showed this. He's like, it's too much for me. I need a narrative. So now we have the best of both worlds. We've got the visionary view and we've got the numbers view. And so we're just about done, guys. I'm doing my first demo, and it's not called Deal Story. And it's with a guy named Judah DeVilbus of Sub2. He's with Everbridge Capital, and he's a lender. He does lending and underwriting. And he's a great guy. You should reach out to him if you don't know him. And he sees this and he says, basically, oh, it's telling the story of the deal. And remember, this is called RV Park Lead Pro. And what I don't know at the time is that he's an underwriter. And he tells me, well, Clint, I'm an underwriter and I would use this every day. In fact, I would have my entire company use this every day. We have a lot of people underwriting, but it's got to work for multiple asset classes. And so we decided to pivot, and I'm looking for a name. And I also told my partner this, by the way. He said almost exactly the same thing. He said, oh, it's a narrative. It's telling us about the deal. And so 3 days of taking cool names and putting them in GoDaddy to see if the domain's taken, and I can't find anything. And I'm just really frustrated. And then finally, I just feel like God said deal story to me. And I just thought, there's no way. There's no way that's going to be there. That's just too cool. And if not, it's going to be $500,000. And guys, it was there, and it wasn't $500,000. It wasn't cheap, but I bought it immediately. Didn't ask anybody. We're doing this. And that is how we became Deal Story, which is, I think, a pretty cool name. Now, the area I can't show you is in strategic partners, but Jesse has seen it. And with strategic partners, it's about Deal Story becoming a trust platform. But I can explain it to you. And basically, it's the ability for people to come and give you reviews. And then you have that option to turn it into a Deal Story certified review. And that way, when people come and they're looking at you, maybe in our buyers network, maybe they're looking for an RV park buyer, not only will they see you, but they'll see your trust building in the front. They'll be able to see reviews of people that have really worked with you, that you're not just gaming the system. Fortunately, I can't take you into the strategic partner area because that's a commitment to me and the strategic partners. You guys would know a lot of them. There's a lot in the community there. And I just have been so blessed that very successful people have given me the time. But we've looked at people that are just starting out. We've looked at people that have been in a year, and then people have been doing this for 20 years. And every voice has caused innovation, from the voice that hates the product to the voice that loves the product. And so with that, what I would say is that we have a beta that started about a month ago. We capped it at 100 people so that we could have white glove support. And I would say that we are stable. And so it would be, for us, we can actually bring in more people now. So if you're interested in this, I can put the beta code here in the chat. You guys can log in and start using Deal Story. But before I do, let me just open the floor for questions and thoughts. Have I put you to sleep?
Hey, really quick, Clint. I know, Jesse, you're coming up, but I'm just saying, like, I'm the integrator over here and he's the visionary. So he's like, oh, that's good summary. And I'm like, ooh, there's the details. So my question, because we have like a community that we work with, we also have like Jordana. I was texting with you going, my brain and gears are working over here. But we have nonprofits, right? So we're calibrating with nonprofits as it relates to co-living for those investors. And then we have credit card stacking that we're offering. So people are looking for funding. So my question is on these different businesses that people have that are outside of the deal, but they support the ecosystem, is there obviously a place where you can insert that relationship?
That is a great question. And, you know, as I said, we stopped updating the homepage because awesome ideas like that keep coming up. We're just going to have to bite the bullet and come up with something, right? But yeah, I love that. And my goal is that, you know, there's so many people don't realize this, right? And what is your name? I see Kevin Thompson.
It's Marcy. But
Marcy?
Here's the thing is we're in Owners Club, you know, alongside Jesse and them. So I was more so thinking of it because we have HomePad Haven. Jordana and I have been working on that, and we're getting ready to launch as well. And it's already kind of all like come together as it relates to onboarding co-living investors while also onboarding nonprofits. So we can leverage both AI to say, what do you really need in that community?
Right.
And then connect the two. So it's kind of a connector phase already, but it would just be like an added resource on what you've already done as well.
Well, let's jump on a Zoom. I think it'd be great to figure out how to get you guys in there. Because I was talking to a guy at a title company, and that's where I came up with, you know what, we need title company network in there. Because there's just not a lot of title companies that really know creative, for instance. And but it's just good to know because like the broker network is coming up as well, and our transaction coordinators network is coming up as well. So I would love to get on a Zoom and talk to you about that idea and see how we can fit that into the Deal Story ecosystem. look, that's my goal. My goal is that you think of Deal Story as the place to go to find the resources that you need, but it also becomes a trust platform. That not only when you're finding that person, you're answering one simple question.
Yeah.
Can I trust you? And trust doesn't come easy, right? And the goal with that is that not people can game that system. They can put all kinds of reviews in there. Trust me, being in business and assisted living, it can be kind of shady where people are just telling you, hey, can you come put reviews on my website and I'll do the same for you? And so as I develop this, I'm like, okay, we're going to have to make these Deal Story verified. We're going to have to verify these reviews. So I want to make it when people look at it, they go, it has that stamp on it. That's trustworthy. So I'll reach out to you and
for sure.
set up a Zoom.
Clint, before I go,
Man.
I just got to say, I'm over here and you were blowing my mind. I'm whispering to my brother. I go, I can't believe this guy built this thing out. I've seen a lot of CRMs. I'm not the expert at looking at CRMs, and I'm not an analytical guy like you. I'm a visionary kind of guy. Man, Clint, that is one of the most comprehensive. I don't think I've ever seen one program that I've never personally seen one program that has encapsulated so much data in one place ever.
No, it all spawns from Pace. If I hadn't joined Sub2 and got the education that I continue to get on a daily basis, this product wouldn't exist.
Well, Clint, I first of all, I love your go-giving attitude and the fact that you're just giving this up, but you have a product here that you could charge for and people would gladly pay you for it. And I know you know that.
To be clear, when you go into underwriting, there's a charge for that. Like I said, for what is it, Build a Lion, it's $1 billion. But for everybody else, right now it's only $50 a month. And so if you're doing underwriting, if you take it, economy of scale, Crexi it's a private company, so the numbers are held close, but it's between 6 million and 50 million people. So if you take that and you extrapolate it out, you're an owners club, you can kind of figure out where that could go. Now, my idea behind the free is that if I provide value or we provide value to these people for free and we provide them pro tools, we've added value to their life for people that oftentimes can't afford those kind of tools.
Exactly.
Number two, they're eventually going to become successful and need those things. But if they're there bird dogging, the buyers are going to want to come use that buy box technology as well and eventually do underwriting. And what I'm hearing with underwriting, because I get this a lot, well, it looks like I got to put that stuff in manually. And I really like using AI and I want to make it go faster. Can I take my P&L and just store it in there? And the answer to that is, yeah, eventually we'll be able to scan your P&Ls and your trailing 12s and insert some data in there. But honestly, I can underwrite a deal in 15, 20 minutes. And that's what I keep hearing over and over. I know that Jesse Riggin is like the first user of Deal Story before it was Deal Story. And she's like excited on Messenger with me. She's like, Clint, I just underwrote this deal in 15 minutes. I can't believe it. I mean, obviously some are bigger than others and may take an hour. But anyway, that was the other part of this is that when it comes to doing things in Excel, it just takes a little bit longer and you always have to worry. Is there a floating decimal or a cell error in there? And yeah, there could be a bug in the software, but once I get it out there, it's just fixed. But my next Excel, that's not always the case. Yeah. And so anyway, so
very impressive.
Yeah, very awesome.
Very impressive. Thank you for sharing it. I see why Jesse wanted you on here.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So it's Kevin.
Yes.
RCIE.
Oh.
Anybody else have a thought or a question? Anything you hated? I want to know what you hated. What'd you hate? Did you hate that it was so good? Was that what the problem was? Bill
I hate the fact you made me feel so dumb.
The only thing I hated was that I had a hard time reading white on black.
White on black. You mean
The black background with white text.
So what I want to do is make it have two modes, where we'll have a white
Yep.
mode and a dark mode.
In a dark mode. Yep.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves when we say that. When those
I know. I know. I have old eyes.
Yeah. I work with developers in their 50s. They all have the white backgrounds, and I have them developers in the 20s to like 40s, and they're all dark background.
Yeah.
And all the young TCs that I'm working with right now, they love the dark background. But thanks for that comment. We'll get that. We're going to make that better.
Sure. Sure.
Anything else? Any ideas you guys have? Okay. Before I go, I'm going to plop a code into the chat. And let me just put my contact in there as well. If you need to reach out to me, I'm on SubTube. My name is Clint Carter. As you can see, you can DM me on SubTube and we'll get you taken care of. I'm going to put the beta here, but then of course, this is going to go away, right? The Zoom's going to go away. So I'll put the code here. You guys grab it real quick. And
if you guys miss it or somehow lose it or something and need it, you can always ask me and I can get it to you guys as well.
You're going to be on beta team Jesse Stanton.
Oh,
yeah.
We could have come up with a better band name than that. Jesse.
Right? Yeah, it's a bad name. Jesse Stanton and the Stallions. Here's the thing, guys. When you get in, you're going to be on the free tier, which means you cannot do advanced underwriting. And that's fine if you don't like doing underwriting or need to do underwriting. But if you need to do underwriting, reach out to me on Facebook, friend me, let's talk, and I'll get you upgraded to the pro tier. We're going to be in beta until at least the end of January. And so there's no cost to use this. All I would ask is that when you do use it, as you go there, if you come up with a problem or there's something you don't like, just please go down to the give feedback area. And if it's a bug and you report it here, it goes into our bug tracking system and we get on those things very quickly. If you have something that is really bad, your numbers are horribly wrong, something's not looking right, catch me on Messenger. You're still going to hit it here and I'm going to get the email. We turn around things very, very fast. So if it's critical, it's probably going out the same day or within an hour, depending on what it is. Now, I've not had any critical bugs in a long time, but I've been in software long enough that may mean that just there's some people that do things differently. Like maybe you click with your right finger instead of your left finger and somehow that breaks it. I mean, literally, sometimes the software is that finicky. Let us know that, guys. We want to make this product robust for you. We want to make it very solid. Right now, it's working really good. I would say this, the connections application, it's brand new. It's 2 weeks off the shelf. We have about 50 users that are just starting to hit it. There may be glitches there. I think there is in some of the celebration areas, but the directory and stuff is really solid. That's been working great for a long time. Oh, and the name of the website is dealstory.com. I'll put it in here. And it's going to say request beta link access. Go ahead and click request beta access. What that will look like is I'll log out here. I normally do this, but let's see. You say request beta access, this button, and then you type in.
Oh, you're not sharing screen, Clint.
Oh, see how good I am explaining? You guys get to catch it, right? All right, screen one. Okay, you can see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
So you'll put your email address in, not mine, and your password, put in your beta code, hit create, you'll get an email, click that link, and you're in. Once you're in, let me know, and we'll get you upgraded to pro right away. So, and I'm looking forward to have whoever wants to join me. And we're going to be very responsive. Like I said, I'm keeping the beta fairly small. I'll cap it at 200 max. We're at about 100 right now. We're just now opening it up what I would call the second phase, and you guys are the first part of that phase. And just let me know. And if you've got cool ideas, let me know. It may go in quicker than you think.
Derek had a question right there in the chat. He said, do we click login and use code or click request beta access?
Click request beta access would be better. I think you can do it through both channels. So if I hit login and then you click sign up, he goes to the same page.
Perfect. There you go. Guys,
then,
give Clint some love, please. This was absolutely phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here thinking I remember reading, Clint, you've heard of this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
oh yeah, absolutely. Zig Ziglar. Yeah.
Amazing book. And I remember in that book, they were talking about John Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, when you look back at what John Rockefeller accomplished, all the amazing things he did, all the money that he amassed, they said they started going through his things when he passed away. And one of the key things that they found that was directly correlated to all of his success, all the things that he did, all the money that he made, the impact that he created was tied right back to his Rolodex. And they started going through his Rolodex. And they're going through and they're finding the names of all the key and strategic relationships that John had done business with. But it wasn't just names and phone numbers. It was, Dave's little 4-year-old Sally had a dance recital for Christmas. And when he followed up in February, he referenced, how was that? How was she doing? And it makes all the difference. This whole game is relationship, guys. It's all a relationship. If you dropped everything else, in my experience, if you dropped everything else and you just took what you are good at, there are natural tendencies, skills, abilities that each one of you guys have. If you don't feel like you're somebody who feels confident in underwriting or cold calling sellers or whatever it is, there's something that you are so good at. And we go over this in our school community. There's something that you are so good at that really the only other problem you need is, how do I just get this in front of more people? Almost 4 years ago to this day, I started a brand new partnership. And instead of doing what everybody else does, where you hire a VA and you skip trace lists and you do all these things and it becomes really expensive really quick. I've already been down that road. What I ended up doing was I thought to myself, hey, you know what? I'm only going to close deals. That's all I'm going to do. That's my only role. And so when I made that decision, I said, hey, I'm only going to close deals. Here's what it didn't mean. It didn't mean that I was cold calling. It didn't mean that I was underwriting. It didn't mean that I was calling buyers. It didn't mean that I was doing any of these other things. It meant I was just calling warm leads. Now, if I wasn't going to hire a VA and do my own lead generation, then that would have to come from somewhere. And guys, here's what I did. Here's why I wish Deal Story would have existed 4 years ago, because I would have really benefited. Instead, I had to get out a Calendly. I had to fill up a Calendly, and I was doing 8-hour meetings. Some of you guys have heard the story before. I was doing 8-hour meetings every single day, meeting with almost 200 people a month, just to find the people who had a VA, who had deals coming in. But what they didn't have, guys, was either the time or the skill sets to follow up on those deals. And guess what? By me having a little bit of clarity into this one thing that I'm good at, despite all the other things that I'm not good at, by making my intention focusing on, if I can just get in front of and serve enough people doing this one thing, that will take care of me. That will accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. And you know what, guys? It worked. Just doing that one thing. We did about $72,000 in 60 days, I think, just wholesaling. And I didn't have to know any of these other things because I knew people. I knew how to build relationships. I knew how to follow up with people. So as you guys are kind of mulling over everything that Clint went over with you guys on what's possible, I mean, this will only 10x your results. Before, I can't tell you how many people I lost talking to 200 people a month. Obviously, that's not scalable. What Clint just showed you is very manageable and scalable. It's amazing. Lastly, I'll share with you guys something Dan Martell told me one time. And it's been a key mantra for everything that I do. He said, millionaires build systems and processes. You want to go be a millionaire? Great. You really have to just dial in what are your systems and processes. Do you guys see a path to systems and processes with Deal Story? My gosh. Like that's what you want. You want a system and process that can work, that can repeat, that can track everything without you being the bottleneck. Millionaires need systems and processes, but billionaires, they don't build systems and processes. Billionaires build people. This whole game is people. And I just want to echo what Kevin shared with us and shared with Clint. I have never seen anything like this. Clint, I think you are on the verge of something just phenomenal, absolutely incredible. I'm so excited to say even in a couple years from now, hey, I knew Clint Carter. I knew Clint Carter. I knew him, and I got to see everything before this whole thing blew up.
Yeah,
Awesome,
well,
bro.
I'm just saying, I knew Jesse and Kevin Thompson.
Well, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for this. This was awesome.
It's a blessing, to be on a Zoom with you last night and say to me, hey, can you come here at 2 p.m. tomorrow Eastern? And just to have that opportunity is just a blessing. And thank you for taking the chance to show something like this to your people.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys all for jumping on. Like I said, we are going to be doing an event 2 days before Squad Up. We haven't opened sales or anything for this yet, but leading up to this, what you guys can expect every single week leading up to the event is, and this goes right in line with, that's why I wanted Clint to come in here today, because it really serves as the foundation for every single Thursday, pretty much from now up until Squad Up, which is, I think, the second week in March. So every single Thursday, we're going to be focused on how to make money in a different avatar. So whether you're a gator or whether you are a fix and flipper or whether you are a wholesaler or a buyer or any of the other avatars, we're going to pick about 10 avatars. And we're not only going to show you guys how to make money with them, but show you how to make money using AI. So whatever avatar you are, or whatever avatar you want to know who you should be connecting with or how you can help and provide value to them, Clint's already given you guys the foundation to begin those things. So when you go in there and you're connecting with people and you're asking, hey, what is your Mount Everest? You already have context around, hey, they're trying to do this. I just learned from Jesse's Thursday Zooms that a buyer or a wholesaler could be doing this, leveraging this type of AI. As a matter of fact, I know what AI they could be using. There are so many different ways in relationships you could be building. You could be building relationships just like you are with Clint right now with Deal Story, with some of these other AI softwares owners, where you could earn all sorts of affiliates and all sorts of things just from being you. There's so many ways to be making money, and that's what we intend to uncover every Thursday over the next couple months. So looking forward to that. No Zoom next Thursday. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. I love you guys. Clint, sincerely, thank you again. I'm really humbled. Grateful for you. Thank you guys for jumping on. Appreciate you all. Love you guys.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry